In the currency quadrant, the March euro currency finished positive for the 7th consecutive session, although the last 2 days have really not been much. Yesterday, the euro was only up 4 basis points, so 0.04%. So we could call that technically unchanged. And that's after a rally of 0.2% to get to the high yesterday. Today we have similar performance at the close without a similar rally that we're pulling back from. The high today, 108.49, was only up 16 basis points from yesterday's 108.32 settlement, so less than 0.2%. And the low today, 108.21.5, was only down 0.1% from yesterday's settlement. Still on a weekly basis, the euro did have its first up week in the last 6 weeks, finishing up by a little more than 0.4%. Now, EU data, manufacturing PMI data was weaker, with services data stronger yesterday in both Germany and the wider EU, with the EU services flash PMI for February reaching 50, so being out of contraction territory for the first time in a while. The inflation rate in the EU was also unchanged, and today's German GDP was unchanged, as was their IFO business climate reading. Now, none of that was enough to change the market view of what the minutes of the last ECB meeting revealed, that the consensus was worried more about the risk of cutting rates too early than the risk of leaving rates where they are. So that has a lot to do with the winning streak that the euro has been in lately. Also, dollar weakness today had a lot to do with today's slightly positive finish, which was only up 6 basis points at the New York close. Yields fell today, taking the dollar lower, and only the 2-year yield was up on the week. That's 3 consecutive weeks of a 2-year yield rally. The other durations, 5-year, 10-year, and 7-year, were all down today and down on the week, keeping the dollar a little weaker and allowing the euro to finish mildly positive.